Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Monday, August 7th, 2023. I want to jump on a live real quick to tell you guys about how I almost screwed up my business brokerage account with Fidelity. Self-inflicted, totally my fault, totally an error on my part that I want to share with you guys as a lesson learned. And it all stems from, I think in other videos and posts, I intimated that the process was taking a while and there were some issues about the address of the LLC. They didn't want to use the business address because it went to like a UPS store, a PO box, whatever. So I had to work out something with like connecting it to my personal address, but I had to make sure it didn't compromise my anonymity with the Wyoming LLC. So I was jumping through all these hoops and thinking I was at the finish line, and then I get another message, or actually, let me back up. I start noticing that that my business account has been opened, but the individual account, the shares weren't moved over, and the individual account hence wasn't closed. So like the action wasn't fully completed. So I inquired about it, sent a note right before some travel last week. So I think like end of July, 27, 28, something like that. I send them, I send them a note and I'm like, hey guys, I see that you opened a business account, but you didn't transfer the shares and close the individual account. So I get a message back last week saying, hey, we can't complete that action for this account. Call us at this number. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, why is this so hard? What's going on? So I call them up kind of ready to be upset. And it turns out, guys, on my application, this is the key point. On my application, when it says, do you want to add, and this is totally voluntary, you don't have to do this, but I had added EFT instructions so that I could, so it was already built in when the business account was created, that I could use a certain bank account to fund this account, this new account. And so when I did that, I listed my personal bank account, which I have with USAA, and never even thought twice about it. Just put down the personal account because that's the account I used to fund the individual account. So sure enough, and thank you to Fidelity, they flagged that and they were like, wait a second, this is a personally owned bank account being connected to a business LLC, right? What they were probably looking for, even though they didn't explicitly state it, was a business bank account, right? So once the gentleman at Fidelity brought this up, it immediately clicked. And he kind of intimated they would still finish the action for me. They would still, move the shares and, fully open the account, fully close the individual, and parallel process this bank account issue. And I said, yeah, thank you for doing that. Please go ahead and do that. But I absolutely need to change this bank account. Like I absolutely am going to change it. I assume it'll catch up to the final account, setup, the whole switch over from individual to business and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, we can kind of do them in parallel. You can change the bank account, send in a revised application, change the bank account, and then go ahead and switch the shares over and all this kind of stuff. So that was encouraging, but that is to say, guys, that this is the importance of maintaining 100% alignment between business interests and business interests only, and then individual interests, personal interests, and personal only, not mixing the two. And I don't even know how I made a mistake like this, but I've used Novo. I don't know if you guys have heard of Novo, purely online bank account. It was recommended to me by Anderson Advisors. When we set up the Wyoming LLCs to go in the living trust, they were like, hey, you need to open a business bank account for each one of these holding companies, which, that made sense to me. I'd always done that before with other businesses, always open a business bank account. And they were like, and you can do it, given the fact that you have these Wyoming LLCs and you're not going to have like a local address to give to your bank, use an online bank. Use something like Novo. I forget the other one that they mentioned. There were two, it started with an A, I think, Apex or something like that. But it was between two accounts. Two banks. And I compared them to each other, and they weren't that different. So I went with Novo. So I have accounts with Novo for these Wyoming holding companies, and that's the account that always should have been connected to this Wyoming holding company that owns this business brokerage account. So that lines everything up. Everything's business. LLC, EIN, owns the business brokerage account, has a business bank account. So what I'll have to do now when I want to fund this account is I have to route money from USA Personal to Novo Business, and Novo Business will fund the business bank account. Novo Business bank account will fund the business brokerage account. So anyway, you see how this gets all twisted around sometimes. But anyway, I want to share this with you guys because it really was something that I was scratching my head over. I didn't understand what the delay or the holdup was, and come to find out there was really a self-inflicted error, which had Fidelity not flagged it, could have opened me up to personal liability issues down the road. If somebody came after me and let's say, came after the brokerage account, it could be pointed out like, well, this guy set up an LLC and blah, 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 has it in a business and all that, but he's funding it with his personal account. That breaks the corporate veil. That sort of kills off the corporate protection, potentially. I think that would be a reasonable argument that a creditor could pursue, or if there was a judgment against me, that could be part of the analysis that would be used to rule against me. So anyway, want to share that with you guys. More to follow on this as I continue learning about this process, but it should be close to completion and closure at this point. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. So thanks for watching. Until next time, guys. Appreciate you guys checking in on the channel and on the Facebook page here. And yeah, definitely check out the YouTube channel, guys. Got the subscriber count kind of growing a little bit there. Excited about that. If you guys haven't had a chance, go check it out at Wealth for Real, all one word, all three of those words together. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Great Monday. Thanks. Bye-bye.